Yeah, this is the Hopium stream. This is Tuesday. This is a release window, potentially a high one. And if it's going to be a pre-release, it's going to be a trailer. Let's be real. So yeah, we're going to sit here in the window, the most active window for them to post something. And we're going to, go over some stuff, talk about things. And yeah, this is May is a very hot, hot, hot time. If it's not this Tuesday, it could also either be this coming Thursday because this is when their fiscal year starts, and also the following Tuesday also is a hot time. So May's got a lot of motion and activity. There's been a lot of stuff. We'll talk about it. We'll be here for a minute. So yeah, here we go. Are we ready for this? All right. So, yeah, we're kind of just sitting in this open window where potentially things could drop. And again, if it's going to be pre-order, which again, there was a Best Buy leak if you didn't already know that. They did say there were some errors in there, but I'm going and falling back on. I've been around these campaigns. I've managed these type of campaigns before. I see how they work, and you don't typically. It was a misfire for sure, but you don't typically spin those up until you're ready to launch a campaign. So for me, I was like, dude, I don't need any more science than that. Like something's happening, whether it's today, Thursday, or next Tuesday, something's happening. I don't know what it is, but my good old gut feeling, the corporate gut feeling, tells me something. And the fact that their fiscal year starts and ends Thursday, which is what, the 21st? What is today? Tuesday? So we're gonna hang out here just in case, talk to everybody, see how everybody's doing, and kind of like what we did yesterday. But I think today is more likely than yesterday was. So that's why we're in this hot window right now. All times will be Eastern Standard Time. I'll try to bring that up and talk about it. And yeah, how's everybody doing? What's up? Says if we have no trailer by 9 p.m., I give up. Well, there was also a lot of chatter about. Yeah, good point. Actually, and then is that Abish? Abish? Hopefully I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it. English in the chat, please. Mostly because I can't read anything else. I wish I could. I guess I know a little bit of Spanish. What's up, Quacked? What's up, baby? So yeah, here's kind of the breakdown. There was a tweet, two tweets about was it Billy, and then Red Dead? Was that right? Yeah. So, and here's the thing: it could still happen. Like it doesn't necessarily mean that it is or isn't. Because let's be honest. Yeah, you're gonna play out your other IPs, sure. But you would post those first, and then you would post the banger last because it would steal the thunder of the other one. So, yeah, for me, it's still in the window. It's still 100% in the window. Know what I mean, dude? All right, so let's see if we can't get... Yeah, so we'll probably be doing this for like 3 hours. Give or take. Dude, we were up late last night. My goodness. Anyways, so yeah, going over a lot of different stuff. We'll go ahead and hit the old trailer here. I was going through, doing some studying, checking things out, seeing what other people have noted, things that I've noted, and yeah, there's tons of stuff. I mean, we were talking about the technical aspects of the game last time, but it is extremely impressive. Like I said, even if, and it's a big if, the story is bad, and I'm not saying it is, we can always fall back on just the giant sandbox game that is Grand Theft Auto, and it looks like a ton of fun. We all know, worst case scenario, we're going to have a blast. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Beep, 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 beep. Okay, I'm going to make a poll, too. What times are more likely to have a more likely to have a today, which is, was this the 19th? Sorry, I gotta remember to talk loud because we don't have any background audio because we would get claimed. Thursday, is that May 21st? Or is it the 26th? Tuesday, say May. Next Tuesday, May, what is that, 26th? Let me just double check. I think we'll hear something by then. Jeez, it helps if I put 21st. Do you know what I mean? We'll see. We're watching everything, so we got the Hopium on high. And here's the thing: I think pre-orders will happen. We are getting very close to that window, realistically. And since we know they're going to do pre-orders at some point, relatively soon, that means trailer 3 is out there. So they're going to hit us with the 1-2 punch. They're going to go trailer 3, and you're going to go what? And then they'll be like, boom, it's for sale, and that's the best time to get it. It's how you do it. Let me just make sure my dates are right, and then we'll put the poll up. 26 is next Tuesday, and 21st is Thursday. Okay. I had to see it on the calendar. I could have counted. What? That's the poll. That's what's going on. Yeah, so we're chilling here. We're hanging out. Yeah, that Best Buy leak was so telling. Like I knew, like the dates didn't make sense because I knew it was kind of a test email, but it still has to be happening relatively soon because you don't do those campaigns and test those things until you're close. And you typically will send them back to yourself to test it because doing email HTML is a royal pain in the butt. So a lot of things break, so you're doing a lot of testing. So I think whoever was on the team was new to the software and accidentally sent it to the list. So I think that email is pretty close to what they're going to do. But I think some of those dates were just like, hey, we know it's roughly around here, so we're just going to put that in there until we get the numbers from Rockstar. So do you see what I mean? Do you see why that's like, yeah, that's a misfire, but it's also extremely telling? So because of that, knowing the earnings call and everything else that's happening, and let's not forget, 26th was the date we were originally going to have until it was delayed. What better time to launch it, right, than in like this end of May? Either today or the 26th. I guess potentially the Thursday is a possibility too, but typically, I'd say out of probability, this Tuesday, next Tuesday are the highest probability in like the next, until August probably, right? Or July. So we're here. And dude, there's so much to look at in this game, even though like I know a lot of people going over this stuff before, but dude, the absolute stunning detail they've got in this game is phenomenal. The systems they have in place to do these is phenomenal. Also, just a little sneak peek here. Let's see. Make sure I don't break anything. I got a lot of stuff going on. I kind of threw this together last minute because I got stuff going on a little bit later today. So I was like, oh, can we get this going? Yeah, okay. Let me see if I can get. I also got the stylus plugged in, so we're like good to go. Hold on. I know you guys are still watching the thing, so it's good to go. Let's make sure if I flip it over, pictures of butt cheeks. That's cool. Okay. And then are we on? Oh, hang on. Let me break that window out. And then we can see what I'm doing. Yay. So we're looking at this yesterday. I made a lot of different comments. I think a lot of this is very telling, right? I did notice, actually, no, let's go back to the video because this is something I noticed in one of the trailers. It was Cannons McGee. Was it Cannons McGee? It was Cannons McGee. Was she in the first one? Man, I'm losing track of what's what. I've seen these so many times. Hold on. Let me pause it and see if we can find. It's the same person. I don't know if anybody else noticed this. There's a couple shots like that, and I think they do that on purpose. Oh, is it not this one? Hold on. We're getting there. Maybe we just let it play through again. What's his name? The old guy who like seems to be hanging around this dude in the beginning. It's very clear this is the starter zone, yes? And also you see this car and Lucia hanging out of it in the beginning, so it must be the opening sequence. I don't know, Rockstar, don't come after me. I did not see the leaks. Don't come after me, dude. Am I out of my mind? It's such a quick flash, so maybe I'm missing. This guy seems to be like your starting dude, right? And this is like your starting zone. And all these seem to be in like that front area. Fun fact, a lot of these were modeled after, I'm sure you guys know this, a lot of these were modeled after, what is it, Florida, in the Keys and stuff. And I used to live there, not in the Keys, but like, it's interesting because they matched like the vibe of the area with like the Keys, like what would be, I guess, maybe Fort Lauderdale, and then like Miami for sure. They've already made a direct comparison there. Obviously, it's not the same map, but I do kind of think with some of the culture that's going on, I do think there's a pseudo Georgia that's connected to the top of this, right? Because that car culture stuff you really see heavy in Georgia. You see it in Florida, but I was like, oh, dude, I get it. It's like they're kind of matching the vibe for each of those different zones. So like the Keys is like where you start. I know the Keys. And like some of those buildings look kind of familiar. I know it's like a fictional place, but like they modeled some of them after that. And I noticed that when I was going through, I was like, no kidding. And there are some direct comparisons. Like there are actual buildings and stuff. Let me see if I can find it. Well, anyways, I guess the Jugs McGee connection wasn't huge, but it's something I didn't see anybody else really make a connection to yet. Anyways, back to, yeah, I lost my point. It's completely gone. Maybe it was in one of these. Yeah, this little sequence right here, these little videos that play, they're like 1 second as you scroll. That's your starter car right there, yes? Maybe it was in one of these. They are tucking a lot of Easter eggs and everything. Okay, so like right here, this is the Keys. And it has been known for drug running in the past, and clearly that's what this guy's all about. But like that's this. And Florida, especially on the Atlantic coast and the Keys, is a weird culture because you see like rich and poor people in other cities, but it doesn't mix quite like Florida's coast does. You can see the richest of rich and then like a bum. And it's so weird. It's like it's different than like California, it's different than like New York City. It's such a mix of everybody. It's weird. And that's I mean, I think that's what they're going to really lean on in this storyline is what it looks like. And it does look like some of that Georgia car culture stuff is a part of maybe this guy. He's like the rapper dude, and that would be Atlanta, right? Like Georgia. I don't know if it goes all the way to Atlanta, but like a lot of that car stuff you saw. I don't know if it's in here. But like when they're in the intersection doing like burnouts and stuff, you'll see that in Atlanta. I just thought it was interesting. I was like, oh, I know this place. Kind of. Anyway, so if you just joined us, we are waiting. This is a hot time where things could potentially drop. So we're here, we're doing it. And yeah, I think this will go till about 2-ish. Maybe like 2:30 because I think these are likely windows. What's up, Jedi? What's up, baby? Because we have so much activity, Tuesday is a hot day for releases for sure. Since they did do some posts on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, they did some Red Dead stuff, so they could still potentially drop it. Just think about the order here. Yes, they can do more than one tweet a day. If they're going to drop something this big, they're going to drop the other stuff early. So this stuff will be in the window later. Does that make sense? So if the window for releases and this kind of stuff is between, I don't know, typically 9 a.m. to like 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you already did your post in the morning, which they did, you're going to wait to drop this later, logically. We don't know for sure. But in my mind, I was like, yes, this window is still very active and very open. So that's why we're here. That's why the Hopium is high. Know what I mean? Yeah, I'm running low on the tactical cylinders. I'm going to have to get some when I'm out later. Boo! And also, because I'm a huge freaking nerd, over here, I did plug in my stylus. Pink is, oof, I don't know how I feel about the pink. So there's some stuff we maybe want to point out, and then we can kind of doodle out, which I think is cool. I have fun doing that. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. So instead of just watching the same loop all the time. And so we'll see plenty of it. Don't worry. But I just thought that was interesting. So let's see. There's a couple different things I saw up here that was intriguing to me. Places. But it does look like the starter zone is in the Keys, which I think is interesting because it's beautiful down there, and there are a lot of rich people at the end of the Keys in real life. But it's like there are a lot of rundown places as you get there. Like I said, it's such a mix of like very poor, middle class, super rich, kind of rich, all kind of jammed in a place. And you're like, you can have the prettiest house on the beach, and then there's like a bum alley, you know, a couple yards down. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's very Florida. And I think they're capturing that here. After I kind of saw everything together, I was like, dude, 100%. So, yeah, it looks like your starter zone is going to be down here. So, Leonida Keys. Oh, that's right. They did the cutout with the plane. That's cute. Okay. I just realized that. All right. What I was going to show you? Something else. Oh, yeah. Duh. Check it out. Also, we got the map here. Let's see if we can't pull this little trick out. Okay, yeah, I did over here. Cool. So, we can't show anything out of the leaks. I did check to see if there was any of that stuff here. There's not, so that's good. These are all things, believe it or not, if you don't know this whole map project has been done by lots of people in the Discord, and they've put crazy amounts of work. So I guess red areas represent possible. They haven't technically seen it, but logically they can put things together. But these little locations all signify where trailers, videos, screenshots, the yellow ones are the ones from leaks, like looking into different areas. And a lot of this could change, but a lot of this is very solid. So yeah, how cool is that? I'm sure if you guys have been following this for a while, maybe you're aware of this. You should be. But this looks like possibly this is your starter zone from what I've been gathering and the way these different screenshots have been working. So you can see a lot of screenshots have been coming from this area. I do like how, like, because the leak was kind of a while ago, like the hack, right? That's what we're talking about. I do like how they kind of just put real shots around the leak stuff. So you're like, yeah, if you saw it, then we'll show you the official stuff and make sure this like looks good because it's more polished now. Because that was years ago. By the way, don't do that kind of stuff, especially against a big company. That kid is in jail. So prison, actually. Prison's way worse. So yeah, don't do it. It's illegal, guys. Isn't that crazy? So yeah, we'll talk more about this, and then we'll flick this up here because I'm going to grab some agua. Señor? Agua, señor? We'll play a little bit of this. Okay, I'll be right back. I need water. Jedi says map looks huge. It is, and I know it's probably hard to tell from, because it is like a vector kind of map thing, so it's hard to get a sense of scale. I mean, the roads kind of help on the map, but for the most part, yeah, I think here we go. Here's the credit. Might as well put this up here because these guys put in crazy work. It's a huge community effort, and these people have been putting in crazy work to like triangulate stuff from those videos and screenshots, if you didn't already know. So a lot of these are the same groups, and some of these people are the same, like where they were able to pinpoint and sketch out the map for GTA 5 with extreme accuracy. I think they had like was it like the high 80% most of the map? Like it was crazy. So they're doing that here, which is great. Which again, my other theory that I had was, obviously this isn't Florida, but this is kind of like a compact version. This is clearly the Keys. This is a part of Florida, and I think up here will be the I'm air quoting. You can't see me, but it would be something close to like a Georgia, right? Where you've got some of the I'm thinking it is. We'll see, but because clearly this is a very stout version of. This is like the tip of Florida, or it's supposed to be. Miami is supposed to be in here, so that would be like Vice City, right? Any particular spot you guys want to like check out for a second? I'm kind of interested in that starter zone, right? Which is so interesting because as you're going down to the Keys in real life, it is crazy because you see all these rundown towns. You're like, I thought this was a nice place. I did a couple New Year's down there, and in real life, and you kind of drive down there. You're like, are we in the right place? This looks like a dump. And those beginning screenshots that you see, it definitely looks crusty. And you go, wait a second. But then you get down, it's like super rich, and you're like, oh, these are people that are like seasonal, and they're not down here all the time, but they have stupid money. Because it costs a lot to be hauling stuff down there. Let me see if we can find some of the more rundown spots. Sorry, the scrolling kind of makes me nauseous after a while. I'm sorry. What? Because clearly it looks like you start in the slums and then kind of come up. Sorry for anybody that lives in the Keys in the slums. My bad. I think they would say it was, right? Let me see if we can find it. Let me see if we can find it. Places. Leonida Keys. Oh, I guess it was there. Yeah, see? And there's even a couple spots that, and this is like the rich people kind of hobnobbing down here because you can see the bridge to the Keys over there. Sorry, I keep like mixing the real stuff with like the game. You get what I'm saying? Like this, down the street as you're driving in real life. Like not all these people in the street necessarily unless there's some kind of festival or something, but like all these weird shops and stuff as you're driving down is 100% what it looks like in real life. So I was like, oh, what a cool place to start. Like they kind of put you in this, like they make it a rundown place for your guy. And like, so that's kind of interesting. If you're looking at the map, you're like, oh, this is like, as you do more missions, you kind of go, hey, we're moving up in status, so we're moving up the state. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of missions down here. Probably like water stuff almost immediately because they're strong at your, oh shoot, at the safe house, your original safe house where they, like the trailers are all, let me show you, dude. Oh yeah, we got Lucia's butt cheeks. Well, okay, there we go. Perfect place to stop it. Okay, so this is your starter area. And you can see a boat. And then I think in one of the other trailer things, you can see this boat being worked on. So it looks like we'll have access to boats pretty often. I think it's going to be very aquatic based in the beginning. I really do. And we already know there's like really cool underwater exploration. It looks beautiful. It says, can we pre-order GTA on Thursday? Possibly, yes. Bob says he wants to fight a shark. Definitely looks bigger than GTA 5. Yes, by a long shot. It is much, much, much larger than GTA 5. All right, let me play it. Sorry. Make sure you guys have something to look at. Dudes, what? That's weird. Yeah, so this is all the beginning zone, like down in the Keys. Right here. 100%. So if you're kind of like, look at it as like the vibe or like the feel of the area, it's got to be down here somewhere. And maybe up in here, I don't know, but a lot of stuff's happening here. You know, just saying. And this would be going up to Miami. Or, I'm sorry, Vice City. Sorry, I keep saying the same ones back and forth. You know what I mean. Clearly, it's not a one-to-one, but the ones that it's taking the soul from or it has very close or a lot of pieces from the real life, I'll just call it that. When will the third trailer get released? It will be 100% with the pre-order. I don't think one will come without the other. I think it'll be trailer and then immediately, boom. So if that's going to happen, that email campaign and the whole sponsorship or affiliate program that they have running has to be tested and run now. I think that's what that email was. I think it was a glitch. It was a misfire, but I think they're working behind the scenes to get things ready. I think the dates were slightly off, but I think we're pretty close. Yeah. Once I saw that misfire, I was like, dude, it's happening, because like those things have to be put in place first. The sponsors or affiliates have to make sure they have the links. They have to make sure that works. That happens behind the scenes. And then when they do the drop, then they say, okay, people under NDA, you can now talk about it. And here are your links. They're already active. They're working. We tested them. That's how that works. So you can tell stuff's happening. And because that was a misfire, that wasn't necessarily put under NDA because there wasn't like a specific thing about it. But I bet the one that's being put out now, or close to now, it definitely is. So nobody can say like, hey, I got this email. They're like, yeah, if you want to be a part of this, shut up. Yeah, typically those email campaigns, we said this earlier, but it's worth repeating. When you send out an email campaign like that, you test it on the back end a lot, because the way emails are rendered, it's very crappy, and you have to use very old depreciated code and or deprecated code and deprecate? No, not deprecate. Um, depreciated code. I think that's right. So yeah, you have to use really old markup, and things don't work in like other browsers. So you test it like a lot. Most people don't know this. And so when you do that, oftentimes you send it back to your email list, which is like a handful of people on the team, right? So when you do that, sometimes somebody may get in the system and then select the wrong list. So the one they were working on got sent to the actual people. So it's close, but you see what I mean? And you don't work on those campaigns until you get close to the campaign. And since they're doing that through a third party, which is, I forget the name of the company that does that, but then they have to set up the affiliate links, and then they have to test those. So they were doing the due diligence beforehand. I think somebody just screwed up and accidentally, because it's like a list, and then like as you're testing, somebody probably went click, and or they misnamed it where it looks like the other list, and somebody went, whoops, oh, well, Steve's out this week. Let me just send this off, and then like, whoops, we just sent it to all the sponsors, and like, oh boy. You see what I mean? What's up? Odin says, how bigger is the map? Much. I don't have a direct comparison at the moment. I'm sure we can bring it up. All right, so the poll right now is running. 31% say today could be the drop. 23% said Thursday, which is in a few days. And then next Tuesday, 46%. I'm kind of leaning towards that one. But again, there's still a strong likelihood that this window today could also see something. Logically speaking, it makes sense. Like with everything we've seen so far and like the email campaign stuff, it makes a ton of sense. And that's why, like when I saw the dates too, I was like, the stretch of that was like 3 days. I was like, yeah, this is a test email. This isn't somebody screwed up, and that's good for us because we can put the pieces together. Yeah, because like when you get all that stuff that happens, like when the creator's like, hey, here it is. Like there was a lot of work that was done on the back end to get it to that point. You know, the retailers have to have the codes in place, and do you know what I mean? People have to have the campaign set up. You have to make sure the codes work and the links work and all that stuff. And then, yeah, when you send out an email like that, it's not just typing an email. It's basically old school HTML, and it's very weird. Think circa late 1990s or something, right? It's not even that good because, and I say good, but yeah, there's so many things that like work and don't work, and it makes it a very unique thing to design for. And it is a royal pain in the ass to troubleshoot, and it's very common that you send it to yourself to test it. You do it multiple times a day, and then you go, oh, this is cool, but that broke. And then, yeah, there's a lot of work that goes behind that. It's not just like type, send. It's like a whole, like you build it like a web page, like a very old, fickle web page. Yeah, so the fact that like the date wasn't right because that was yesterday, it's still extremely telling. And again, you're not going to just see a pre-order. This is going to be a trailer, and it has to be trailer first. The pre-order before it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would they announce that? Maybe it's in place, but like no one's gonna announce it. The announcement is going to be the third trailer, and then at the end of the third trailer, like they always do, instead of saying coming, well they'll say like coming 19th, but they'll say pre-order now, and you'll go, ugh, squirt. Oh geez, we could do it. It's happening. I know this feels like a ghost in the machine because we've gotten delayed so many times. It hurts my feelings, dude. Yeah, no, it's extremely close. And Thursday's a possibility. We'll do another Hopium stream there. Maybe our window won't be as long, but like Thursday's a possibility. But typically all these things happen on a Tuesday. So with knowing all that stuff and how like the companies, the publishers, and even like the retail chains work, it's you know what I mean? There's motion here that's happening that wasn't happening before that we're privy to. And I was like, dude, we're close. What's up? Jay says, sorry to ruin the Hopium. He says the pre-orders are going to be after the summer DLC because the inside source told late June for the pre-orders. Who's this? Who's this? Who's this? Who's this? Who's this? It could be. It could be June, sure. I mean, that's definitely on the, if you were to plot these out, it would be today, Tuesday, or I'm sorry, today, Thursday, next Tuesday. I mean, also June is a possibility. Either way, like in this like block of time, this is when pre-orders happen. Know what I'm saying? Baby! I like the old guy looking at the BBL. That's dope. Actually, a lot of people on the beach are looking at the BBL. Am I right? Late June is a possibility for sure, but and it's definitely like I said, if I were to plot out like Hopium times or potential windows for this, that's definitely one of them. But I really, really, really am leaning on that it's happening sooner than later. But we gotta know the validity. You can't say who it is, but like, a friend of a friend's weaker than like somebody like I have a close friend that works for. Know what I'm saying? Yeah, but here's the thing. Why would they be shooting off those test emails that early? Late June's like a month out. I guess it's possible, but you'd be kind of working that a bit beforehand. Even if you did have like an approval process, because I know there's at least 2 third parties working on that campaign. I'm not saying you're wrong. It's definitely a possibility for sure. But also, so's today, Thursday, and Tuesday. Watch, they just drop it out of nowhere, and we're just like, huh? I mean, that's kind of what they do. Yeah, 26, I think, and maybe we don't get the trail in the pre-orders, but maybe they do a tweet or something and get us pumped. That starts the timer in my book. You know what I mean? We're in it. We're in it, baby. I think the comparison I saw was like, yeah, it looks small here, but it's definitely not. And remember, these are just things that we have seen. And for like, remember, all the red areas are like they don't really know. So it can be a lot of different things. This is not a final thing. This is just what they've been able to verify. So wherever the videos have happened. Says Best Buy said the emails were a placeholder and the emails were fake. Fake. The dates were fake. Yeah, yeah. It was placeholder. Yes. See, that's what I'm talking about. When you do the build and stuff, the dates were off, but we're still in that like window. Like you wouldn't be building this campaign that far out. You do it a little bit closer. It's not out of the realm of possibility that it's still June, and then they were doing something and somebody misfired. But this is an awfully early time to start that runway, from what I've seen. Know what I mean? But definitely a possibility. It's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. Yeah, were you here earlier when we were talking about the email campaigns and what it was? Yeah, we kind of. I mean, we kind of said that. Yeah, it's. I mean, I guess I said it in a lot more words, right? But yeah, that's how they typically work. Most of the time, those things are a week, maybe 2 weeks out before you start a campaign. If you're ahead of the game, most of the time they come in a few days or same day, and you're like, there's a fire. Although, since this has NDAs very heavy, and you've got the verification process, and they're very much like letting it pass through things, yeah, maybe they're like, a few days out. But I don't know. It's not, I don't typically see, or I should say in the past, I didn't typically see campaigns start 2 weeks beforehand, unless it was something reoccurring. Oh, it says hear me out in the timeline. Yes, by all means, by all means. Go ahead, brother, shoot. But we'll put this up while I try to grab some screens so we can start doodling on stuff. Ow, that hiccup hurt bad. Yeah, no, I think the email was real. I think it was a misfire and it was a test email. And when I say misfire, as they were testing it, they sent it to the list they weren't supposed to, which is very common. You have a lot of hands in there working at the same time. Says, I bet you anything, Squadron 42 gets pushed back if GTA sticks to its original release date. Yeah, I would say that would be the smartest thing for them to do. Don't you think? I mean, why would you? I mean, Razer made a great point. They have some investors. Why would they do that? You know? You wouldn't just be like, well, I hope this goes well. That's a big project. A very big project. No doubt. Yeah, but also, I mean, to your point, Jay, since this is kind of an edge case, because GTA is an edge case in almost every sense of the word, um, it does make sense if they did start it way, 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 way out too. So I don't know. Yeah, even though something that looks like simple text takes crazy checking and like over and over. Hang on a second. Is that there? They are. I found them. Cool. Okay. Cool. 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 What was I saying? Sorry, I'm like trying to grab something at the same time. So yeah, it's possible. Like June still definitely win. If this all goes and passes, like June is definitely still um on the list. August, I think that's yeah, but I think that's less likely. I think we're gonna see this relatively soon. I mean, their fiscal year starts on Thursday. What better way to start your fiscal year than with the craziest game that's ever been dropped and the most pre-orders ever? Says, okay, here's the timeline. He says GTA 6 announcements are in late June or July trailer, and pre-orders are announced in July or late June. Yeah, it could be. For sure. Says, I'm concerned that if they do push it back, Star Citizen community is going to have a massive meltdown. I mean, we're used to that at this point. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Game pre-orders are playable in August or October or September. The game is available on November 19th. Wait, pre-orders are playable? Playable. The September games are even available are available on 19th. Yeah, but I could see them doing it pretty far out. You know what I mean? You're not wrong, dude. Like I definitely agree with that logic. If this one falls through, that's the next framework we're going to attach to because that would also make sense. And let's not forget, next Tuesday is when we should have been playing the game, right? That was the before the delay. That was the time. So I mean, and here's the other thing too, Jay. Like, and your logic's sound for sure, and I agree with you. We could also see, like, hey, I mean, obviously we want the trailer and we want the pre-order, obviously, right? But like, maybe they give us a little tweet. They've been known to do that. You know what I mean? Like around this time too, they're like, hey, we're gonna prime people up a little bit, and then just let them know we're still there. They got to do something on the 26th. If they don't do anything, they should at least update the trailer dates because I'm still. Last I checked, and I don't. Maybe they changed it, but last I checked, those videos that are pinned still say May 26th, which we know is not the case. So just to be clear, like for the game release, I think they got a little something planned. What it is exactly, I'm not sure. But no, what you're saying makes 100%. It's extremely logical. So, and I appreciate that because that's where I like to kind of sit because we don't have any official information, so we're kind of left to just put the pieces together. But I got to tell you that email misfire, or I'm just gonna call it test emails because that's what they were, um, was extremely telling. I think if we didn't have that, I would be more hot to trot on the June theory. And let's be honest, if or when this falls through on this one, that's the next logical case, I think. That makes a ton of sense to me. So yeah, you're not wrong. Sound logic, and I like it. I like it. Sorry, I'm trying to get this other stuff posted in the background so we can kind of mess around with some stuff. That's hopefully going to be a lot of fun. 26 weeks. Is that 6 months? Why is my brain not being able to compute simple math? Dude, I think phone calculators have ruined my life. You know what I mean? It used to be pretty snappy. You're like, oh, I just use my calculator on my phone. I'm terrible at this now in my head. Oh, cool. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Good, good, good. All right, so they do have the pop-ups here. I just got to make sure there's no leaks that show up. All right, so this is from a trailer. Yes, this is the safe house. So yeah, confirm. Well, nice. They straight up. It is on this bank. So yeah, it looks like this gets upgraded too because if you're kind of watching the trailer a bit, you can see that the safe house starts off kind of old and rickety or whatever, and then there's like some newer parts. So we've seen that in the past where like your safe house gets upgraded over time. So it's good to see that like that's in the game. Is this one? Is this from trailer 2? Oh yes, that's the convenience store. How could we forget? Yeah, so today, since this is a likely window, again we don't know, but that's why we're gonna cover this till about like 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Typically, we would see things probably in the morning, but again, since there was already tweets this morning, if there's going to be anything today, it'll be later in the window. So I'm guessing like 1 p.m. too. Who knows? So we'll kind of just hang around just in case, because they are always known to drop these at the most insane times, and then it'll be right when we close the stream, and they'll be like, surprise, and I'll go, "Bleh," you know, and we're all going to freak out. So, okay, so if it does drop today or whenever it does, we'll probably have to watch the trailer with no sound because there'll be music in it, and Rockstar will ream us for that, no doubt. And so will the music studios. They always do. So we'll kind of just we'll watch it together, and then there's got to be a way we can like watch it and then like cut it out, but I guess we can't, right? Because we'd have to have a yeah, probably not. Dude, I'm so excited for this game. Holy cow. This is like very close to accurate. Red places are hypothesis, but things that are filled in are like verified and pinpointed with the videos and the screenshots. As from the plane, who's got the thick butt cheeks in that? Is that just me? I wonder how much of it it does look. You know what? Now that I remember, Vice City, this does look familiar right here. Yeah, original Vice City was like this, right? It was this, like this. This is, and remember, this isn't the exact. I think there's a lot more up here. They kind of put this out here because there's not a lot of information about that. But this is only stuff that they can kind of put together. So this is not by any means how big the map is. It's going to be bigger than this. Um, this is what they have verified, just to be clear. I just kind of want to go over the places that we've kind of seen through the screenshots and stuff. That's one from the marina. Yeah, isn't that crazy? This is like the original Vice City over here. Is this the industrial area? I know that's the old lady on the. Yeah, it's crazy, huh? Bam. So yeah, we're chilling. We could see a post today. They did already post twice, so if they're gonna post a banger like this, it's gonna be secondary, not first, because it would steal all the thunder. But also, maybe they don't post it today because it is such a banger. Who knows? We're in the mix. We're doing it. Yeah, this game's gonna be so nuts. Okay, so right now the poll is at 32% said today, 18% said Thursday, and 50% said Tuesday of the 26th. I think there's a high possibility of droppage or some type of communication. They don't even have to type anything. We talked about this yesterday. They just have to go ellipses send, and we'll go what? It was a Red Dead tweet. Rockstar keeps stuff separate when they post. Didn't they post something about Well, they don't typically post twice, and they already posted twice. And didn't they post about two different games today? I know they posted twice. What if they don't drop the trailer and the pre-order, but they just go dot 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 on the you know? That's all we need to know. It would put the community in a frenzy. Just one? I thought there was two today. Wasn't there like a here, let me look. Yeah, 'cause I didn't I checked it earlier and maybe I 1 second, sorry. Let me get some music going so it's not completely silent for you guys. Blip, 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 blip. Like, it always freaks me out when you land on the page. There's like the pin. It says Grand Theft Auto is not coming out May 26, 2026. Obviously, that was delayed. You're like, that was pinned so long ago. 177 million views. My goodness. Like I said, it's not going to take much to put everybody in a frenzy. Billy. Are they currently running a Where did I get the 2 from? I saw something else that was. Can you imagine the community manager is like, dude, we're gonna drop a grenade. We're gonna drop a grenade, dude. Anyways, yeah, we're still in the window. 1 p.m. Obviously, this is on the latter half of that. We'll take it to about 2 p.m. and then we'll be back on Thursday to kind of be lurking. Maybe we'll do like another 2 hour in like the window, the hot time, and then I'm kind of anxiously waiting for the 26th if today doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And then I think Jay's gonna be right. It's gonna be that June theory for sure. We'll be floating around there too. What's up, baby? I'm looking at the old post. It's crazy they have the old stuff still pinned. But I guess since they don't have anything to say, they can't really, you know? It is crazy the old stuff's still pinned there. And the end of that trailer says 26th. Tuesdays are usually Red Dead tweets. Yes. Yeah, but and that's a good pattern for sure, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they couldn't drop something. Know what I mean? Because if they're gonna do double tweets or whatever, or they're gonna do a drop, they're gonna do the other game that's on its not end of its life cycle, but that's already out, and then you do the banger later. That's kind of why we're hanging on the cut here to see. We don't know. All I know is that Best Buy leak, that misfire was extremely telling. And like I said, if it's not Tuesday, I think Thursday's a possibility, and the other Tuesday are definitely hot zones. Because I don't know, like I put myself in that corporate mindset, right? Of like, hey, am I managing a team? Am I sending this out to a third party to run this? And it kind of like the time frame, and I was like, yeah, that misfire email says so much to me. I wish I could have like, oh my, is that I does somebody actually have the email? Like, could they like forward it to somebody? I could pop the code open and I bet I can find out a lot. Does anybody have that original? Do we know? I don't know. I didn't think of that. Because oftentimes as you're like making it, like you comment out stuff a lot. And I wonder if there's like hints in there because that's your working copy. You probably strip it out later, but your working copy, you kind of, I don't know. I didn't think of that before. Is there any way we can get that forwarded somewhere? Anybody? Oh my goodness, that could tell us so much. Like it won't say anything directly, but I think it will give us an idea of like how long they've been working on it. I think there'd be enough clues in there to put something together. Yeah, I cannot express to you how big of a bitch it is to make. They're not like normal emails you type out. They're like miniature web pages that are like not web pages because and like with the worst technology available. And so like one thing works and then it breaks another. That's the best way to describe it. And think like people that made web pages back in the late 90s. Like we're talking technology and markup from that time period. That's what's available for all the different email browsers and stuff, right? Or the email renderers. So yeah, it's not like type, send. I wish. Yeah, there's like teams of people that deal with that crap. Still. I wonder. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like, because I know a couple people that got it. I'm trying to think of because I need not just the text, but I need the email because then I can pop open the source and take a look. There has to be more clues in there. Because you always, with a working copy, typically, you're troubleshooting stuff, and you have a really good idea of like what's, I don't know, like what their timetable is. And maybe they put more information in there too, because sometimes you put your placeholders in there. And sometimes you're like, well, we think it's here, but they haven't verified it yet. But like you would never, you would never, you could do that because you're working on it, and you're like, yeah, we're not sending this one out. It's clearly a working copy. Says you live on 2 platforms. I mean, I've got the vertical version and then like the standard version. So not 2 platforms, but 2 versions. Are you talking about like where I play? Do I play on console and PC? Is that what we're talking about? Yeah, because of that, the built email that was a misfire to the creators when they shouldn't have. My gut instinct. If I were in like if I was working and I had to piece that together, I'm like, yeah, like May makes a ton of sense. I could be wrong. I don't know. Oh yeah, I was trying to do some other stuff. I don't know if we have it available right now. We could do some pretty fancy stuff. And now it's going to go in the realm of a lot more experimental and filling in the gaps and stuff, but it could give us an idea of what things could look like in the game. Oh, TikTok or Twitch? I mean, I do have a Twitch as like a backup. I don't really stream there because I'm under the firm belief that if you have a penis, Twitch isn't really about you. You know what I mean? Which, yeah, I get it. Boobs are way more compelling. I don't know. I just have a hard time doing TikTok because I know kind of what goes on in the background for like data collection, and it's hard for me to get in there. My instincts to TikTok, although I know you could get a lot of reach and impact for sure, but I don't know. TikTok is something very off. I think you want a hot take on TikTok? I think the views are inflated. Some of the views on some of the people, and I don't think the people are necessarily doing it. Maybe they are, but like I think the platform does it. Like the way old Twitter used to boost their numbers and say we have all these interactive users, and you're like, a lot of them seem fake. And I think there's also data collection happening at a level I don't think we're really fully aware of at TikTok. And do we have a stake in it now, or is China still on? I don't even know. Yeah, TikTok's numbers don't make sense to me, like overall. They don't pay creators well, which kind of tells you where they're actually at. And I think even that's inflated. That's a hot take. I know. People really like TikTok. I get it. I think if it wasn't a Chinese-owned company, I think it would be more open to it. I'd still be very leery of it, but I don't know. It's weird, right? Like I know too much about. I said the same thing about Facebook back in the day, and people are like, "Oh, that's weird," and now nobody uses. I mean, I guess our parents use Facebook, right? But um, I don't know, man. And it turns out Facebook's trained all their data off your shit. So you know what I mean? Like once you kind of see behind the curtain, it's hard to like. I'll probably end up doing TikTok at some point, but yeah, once you see what the machine does in the background, you go, well, I don't know about that. Facebook has been terrible forever and continue to be, but TikTok I think is worse, which is saying a lot. Anyways, that was a rabbit hole, yeah. But again, I know tons of people use TikTok, and so I get it. And you do get a lot of reach. Am I weird? You don't think Rockstar will say anything in May? It's a possibility for sure. But we're sticking around just to make sure. Because, like, you know how they do it. Right when everyone's like, we're losing hope, And then so everybody's like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna go take a dump and make a sandwich or something, right? And then out of nowhere, when no one's looking, they're like, hey guys, guess what? Padow. I'm currently leaning towards where the pull is. I think Tuesday, the 26th is a strong likelihood. Well, we'll do a little Hopium stream on Thursday just to cover our bases. I'll try to go over more of the stuff that I've kind of collected for like the maps and stuff. I think that'll be a fun conversation. We'll just be a waiting room, just in case. And we'll hang out and talk about GTA 6. Dude, this is like the time where I can fully go in and be like, now I'm pumped for this. You know, because I don't think there'll be any more delays, right? Didn't they actually verify that? Which is great. You know, we want that. We want the game. Just think about it, dude. And that's right around, well, if you're in the States, that's around Thanksgiving, right? When is Thanksgiving? Is it 26th? Yeah, it's a week before Thanksgiving. That's wild. Although they aren't doing the live service portion of it, so I guess we're okay. But still, there's going to be a team of people watching this and making sure things don't break. That's wild. Yeah, no more delays. Woo! I mean, to be fair, the stuff we're seeing in the trailers, and we talked about this yesterday, but it's worth noting, and just keep this in mind, everything we're seeing is 100% rendered in the PlayStation 5. And PlayStation 5 is a face melter, and so is the Xbox Series. So functionally, in my mind, they're pretty much the same. Like, they're different, but they're the same, right? Like they both have the horsepower to pull it off. And clearly, they're getting the performance out of these consoles that's crazy, and they always have. I mean, look at GTA 5. It ran on, and Chad had to remind me, not only the Xbox One, but it ran on the 360, man. That's crazy. How did they get that performance on that game and develop it and then release it that long ago on the 360? Can anybody answer that question? So the type of stuff we're seeing here is just out of this world crazy. Like, you'd have to have a high-end PC to run this, dude. Right? To get these kind of graphics on anything else. They got crazy performance out of this, dude. Look at this. That's on a PlayStation, man. What are we talking about? That's on a PlayStation, dude. You see that fidelity that they had in Red Dead years ago, and it's just taken to the next level. Like, absolutely crazy next level. That's absurd. Dude, the density of people and cars is nuts. On a PlayStation. What the hell are we looking at? And this is trailer 1. Here, here's trailer 2, dog. And there's even more performance out of this. So they're clearly getting these numbers. This isn't like, hey, we'll run it on a PC and go, hey, this is for, you know, whatever. Literally at the bottom on the page it says captured in PlayStation 5. That's what we want to see, brother. Probably be 2 years for PC release. It says, I'm not looking forward to having to wait a whole year to be able to play on PC. Yeah, that does suck. Yeah, and I don't know what engine they're using off top, but even if this was like Unreal Engine, like they got crazy performance out of this. I think it's their own proprietary. I don't think they use Unreal. I'm almost positive they don't. But dude, the levels that they're getting here is absurd, and the technology they have, I think, is unique to them. Like the simulations on the liquids in the bottle. Those are small simulations happening in each bottle. That's crazy, dog. Like, that's a lot of compute, kind of just to do that, you know? Among everything else that's going on in the scene, with the NPCs walking around outside, their own little pathway saying, hey, I'm a bum. I'm going to go do bum stuff. I'm going to hang around the garbage. I'm going to go fight this guy. I'm going to go eat this pizza. Like, and then the other guy's like, hey, man, I'm slinging weight. And the other guy's like, hey, man, you want to sell this? Like, all these calculations are happening in the background. And then there's also these simulations happening. I mean, look at the. Okay, did we just see the bubbles in the water? I mean, now they're just showing off. I did not notice the bubbles in the water. That's crazy. So you have a particle system inside of that too, dude. And this is on a console. What are we talking about? Do you see that right here, dude? What? That's showboating. Well, that's crazy work. And that's like that detail is great. It's not like required, but it just shows you the level of craft they have here and the tech they have working. This isn't on like a 500 series NVIDIA chip or graphics card, right? This is on a freaking PlayStation, dude. Come on. Who is the Karen with the two hammers in her hands? I don't know, but that's you would see that in Florida, yes. I think isn't that even modeled after something that happened on social media, or they're making fun of it? So yeah, in order to pull that bottle off, not only do you have a level of liquid simulation happening there, which is resource intensive, just for the record. So clearly they've come up with something that works. So you have that physics, or that water simulation is a physics simulation, but it's a water simulation, which is beefy. You have that happening in each bottle to some degree, right? Because it's moving around. And then you have a particle system on top of that doing the bubbles in a bottle. And there's multiple bottles in the case, and there's multiple cases in the store. What are we talking about? I'm assuming it's at 60 frames. Yeah, it's they've got crazy tech running that I haven't seen before. That like PCs typically can do, but you have to throw crazy extra compute at it, right? Cycles. And I think they've got a patent on some of that stuff. I know they do on some of the NPC stuff where it wanders around. So think about it. Yeah, actually, when this starts, since we know we start in the keys, this is like early game, right? She's out of jail. You're chilling. And so like your beginner zone is like some streets, but I think it's going to be mostly water. Because, I mean, you're on the bridge to the keys, dog. And it shows it right there. And look, your apartment looks cleaned up there too, doesn't it? It looks better than it did before when you guys were beating cheeks in there. See? Oh, I guess it's a little poopy here, but this looks better. Well, it's no secret that the safe house can be. Yeah, and what's crazy is these little throwaway scenes where you see some detail. I think they put that in there to show off the tech that they have for sure. Because they knew we'd look at this kind of stuff. But like, dude, so if you look at the bottles down there, you already know the level of detail that's going on there. That's crazy. Clearly, I think if it's out of visual range, it's not being rendered because that would be crazy. But still, and that convenience store is he's walking down the aisle. Those are exposed, so that means that's all being rendered. That's crazy. This is trailer 2, so this is a more polished version of. And I think somebody missed this too. So you've got shadows working like I forget what they call it in the parlance of rendering and stuff, but when he's shooting from the car, which typically this is faked to some degree. Like you have active shadows and stuff, yes, yes, yes. But like this looks like there's multiple layers of this happening. There you go. Well, okay, so he's moving down the street, so these light sources are casting shadows from multiple sources, but then this gun is emitting a light source, and watch, it changes the shadow. That's quick, but also that tells you like they're doing like some level of raycasting there, or some tech that like fakes that shadow, or whatever. But it definitely looks like it's all real time. That's crazy, dude. The deformation of cars looks nuts. I mean, I don't know to what degree. We've seen other games that actually do like, I mean, they're all about just deformation, like the rigid body deformations. But like, what's that one game? Beam Beam NG. I think that's what it's called, or I'm close to it. Yeah, so like we've seen that kind of stuff, but it looks like because before we'd have like modes of like, okay, here's damage at 100%, 50, 70, whatever. But like this looks like it's reacting to it, it's deforming. And whose butt cheeks are those? Anybody? Dude, and the amount of NPCs all doing like random different things too is crazy overhead, just so you know. And again, playing on a PlayStation 5, like you've got different body types. They're all kind of doing like different stuff, and there's a lot of them in one place, and you're driving by, and they all have different light sources on them. Like that's happening in real time, dog. Before, yeah, see, like these shadows are, man, that's crazy. See, they must have their own stuff going on because I don't think it's ray trace, but maybe it is. Like the colors of the skin are changing with the light, so it's reacting to the environment. Bro, it's happening here in her cheeks. We have a reflection. Say what now? Dude, what are they pulling off? Like this physics simulation blows my mind. And I know some other people have highlighted it, but like the more I keep peeling that back in my mind and go, wait a minute. This is them showing off what they've done. Maybe this is like an homage to it, because technically that's like a in-universe like PlayStation controller, but it's not. Or maybe it is. It has a light on the back. Maybe it is. Wouldn't that be crazy if the controller changed with the system and the other one's like an Xbox controller? I mean, I wouldn't put it past them at this point. You have the light coming in, the light source here. Dude, that's crazy work. Looks like there's some water deformation a little bit. Impressive. Very impressive. You would see this and assume that it's PC. I mean, I would. And it's still impressive on PC. It's beautiful. But then you go, oh, this is all rendered on a PS5? Get the fuck out of here. There you go. Captured on PS5. What are we talking about? I'd feel bad if I ran over the iguana, I'll be honest. Yeah, alcoholism seems to be pretty popular down in the Keys. So, yeah, that's crazy. The amount of detail, the lighting that's happening with the water is crazy. And you only typically see that with like Unreal 5 and stuff with and that's beautiful, don't get me wrong, if you played Subnautica 2, but like this is their engine though. And it goes even further. That's crazy. I'm kind of just leaning in. That's gonna be nuts. I bet we do those pretty quick. Those missions. This looks like the rich people partying down with the Keys folk. Yes? Because you're gonna come up. That's typically how it works in Grand Theft Auto, yeah? That's nuts. All right, so if you're just joining us, we're kind of waiting to see in this window to see if there's going to be an activity today. Again, if there's going to be a pre-order, it's going to be the trailer. So it's going to be a 1-2 punch. We do know that. So yeah, there'll be a trailer and then there'll be the pre-order. That's how it's going to work. The question is, we just don't know when. Because of the weird email they sent out that was like a test or building email, it's got me hot to try it, thinking it's close. So we're going to catch these windows that I think are most likely to be real. So yeah, we're doing today. We're going to cover Thursday, which Thursday's a bit of an outlier, but because it's their fiscal year, and it is possible they can drop something on a Thursday. Friday is very unlikely. But yeah, because this is going to be a trailer with the pre-order, so you're probably going to see this on a Tuesday is what makes the most sense to me. So we're covering it today, and I think the 26th is going to be another hot one. That's where we're at with it. And then if these fall through, I think Jay is correct. I think we'll see something in June. because that window's kind of closing. And with all this movement happening here, I think the soonest date after May would make more sense, logically speaking. And again, they could surprise us and drop it whenever they want. But since they're gonna do purchases with it, they always say Tuesday's the best day because that's like the best retail day. That's where like billing happens. There's a whole bunch of reasons why that is on a Tuesday. So the biggest pre-order in history, let's be honest, one of the biggest games ever made. So it makes sense they would follow the norms. Do you know what I mean? It would make a lot of sense that they would do that. So we're here. It says also, as a BioLazer resident, it says, I have to say, they're doing an awesome job of capturing the vibe of Florida. Dude, I was just saying, because I used to live in Florida. I didn't live there. But, like, don't you feel like the Keys, they kind of like, yeah, it's like a mix. Like, as you're going down to the rich part at the southern tip, you go through there, and if this is the first time you're like, dude, this place is a dump. And then you go, oh, it gets better, but then it gets worse. But then it gets better. You know, it's just like, or like maybe dump's too harsh, but it looks run down. It looks lived in hard. But Florida's like that, don't you think? Where it's such a mix of all the different classes together, like sometimes like right next to each other. Just but says, wouldn't you feel bad if you probably said, well, a new pair of boots? What? New pair of boots? What? What? Yeah, Miami looks like a shit show, or the Vice City part. So you're like, yeah, that's accurate. But don't you think the like the Roxy girls and like the rap and stuff, don't you think that's gonna be the pseudo Georgia or Atlanta? Because technically, and the map isn't, again, this is speculation 100%, but the map, because before they had like more of the panhandle stuff, like Georgia's close enough, so maybe they just make it a more stout version of. I think that stuff's gonna happen up there, or closer to it, right in their world. It says, do we know if GTA 6 will launch at 60 FPS? It says, it could be wrong, but I feel like the rumor was 30. I don't think they've said anything officially. If it's 30, it looks like a solid 30 from the caps. Like spiking below 30 would hurt, but I don't know. Well, I don't think we've seen anything official on that yet. I'd say the stuff we saw in the capture, which isn't 100%, but it's a good indicator. It looks like it's a solid 30 and maybe goes above it a bit, but I don't think it's at 60. I could be wrong. Could just be the way they captured the video too. Yeah, because there's a bit more of a smoothness when it's at a pure like 60, you know, or when your head's always at 60. Don't you think? Drinking of the iguana. Says, yes. The other place that reminds me of that is Venice Beach or Santa Monica. It says, you'll see $5 million home and a bunch of dudes hobo maxing right next to them. Yes, that's Florida, dude. You've never seen such a mix of different like cultures and like just status. Like you have people at all levels of life. Old, but like rich people, poor people, bums, like, everybody, dude. It's a crazy ass place, and I think it's the beach that does it. It pulls everybody in, so everyone's like, I guess there's room over here. That's where I used to surf. I used to surf on the Atlantic coast. So that end of Florida, it gets weird. Very weird. I wasn't there for very long, but yeah, it's immediately you get there and go, what? Like, okay, good example. We didn't live in a crazy expensive place. It was pretty. Let's just say there could be some hobos around. We would see at an IHOP a Lamborghini, and we weren't in Miami, dude. And I was like, what? Is a Lamborghini like to see a Lamborghini in the wild if you're not in one of those hot spots is crazy. And then I think another time was like a Ferrari or something, like at another place. I was like, what is going on? It's just crazy. In a place where you wouldn't see those. Let's be honest. That's a rare sighting to see those in the wild. If you're not in the place that typically has them, which is most places. You know what I mean? Hiya. That's cool though. It says, yeah, it's the other place that reminds me. Oh no, I just read that. Yeah, I think that's gonna make this game very interesting. That feel, if they capture the vibe of Florida, and that's what this universe is, this world, it's gonna be very interesting to play. And I mean, the sandbox they've created is phenomenal. The world building they've done is phenomenal. From what we've seen is crazy. Just to walk around and explore all the things they've done, because like in a thing of beer that's a throwaway thing to most people. There's crazy amounts of tech. There's crazy amounts of detail in that. I was telling Razor the other day, I was like, dude, I want to just sit down and people watch the NPCs because I know they have a like driven purpose. So just to be like, I wonder where that bum's gonna go. You know, is he gonna go fight that guy over there? I'm just gonna see what they do all day. Because they'll have like different pathing and like things they do. We're basically can people watch in a game that's like happening around you and like this crazy story, and you're like, I think I'm just gonna see what this guy with the cart does. You know what I mean? You just be like, what? Jason says, yeah, for sure. I live in a small town outside of Toronto, and the odd time a Ferrari or a Lambo goes through, it grabs the attention. He says the new Corvette as well. Yeah, the new Corvette definitely leans heavily into um, like Ferrari Lambo territory. It borrows heavily, I think, from that. Yeah, because you look at it and go, is that a Ferrari? And you go, oh wait, or no, is it? It looks more like a Lambo. Yeah, it looks kind of like a Lambo. There was another one that kind of looked like a Ferrari. Maybe I have the two mixed up. Yeah, and you go, wait a minute, and you go, oh. I mean, Corvettes are fast, and the horsepower they have in there is absurdly high, but yeah, it's one of those things where you go, what? You think it's a supercar, and I guess technically it is, but I would say the Corvette isn't on the same level as a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. Their tiers is definitely high, but I don't think they're on the same level. Just me personally. Yeah, and then when you see and then if you see a Lamborghini or a Ferrari in real life, would you think in a million years you'd see it in a parking lot and you're like, oh, he's eating at IHOP? Only in Florida would you see that shit. You just be like, I guess. And then the place, I bet they'll do this in the game too. Like spring break in Florida is annoying. If you live there, it's fucking annoying. Because everyone's like, yeah, spring break. You're like, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to sleep. I got work tomorrow. Like, yeah, it's cool. There's butt cheeks and boobs everywhere, but shut the fuck up. I got work tomorrow. Wee, spring break. You're like, yeah, we get it. Shut up. Yeah, if you live there, you hate them. For sure. And I can sleep through a lot. So if you're waking me up, that's a disturbance of the peace. Yeah, you just have people walking around just going, "Woo! I saw this on social media. He looks cool. Woo!" I bet they do that. And I bet they show how annoying they are too. I love it. I can't wait to see it, dude. I'm pumped. It says after playing this game, I feel like everyone's gonna understand why Florida is the Florida Man meme. I think, yeah. Well, it's also the way they do news cycle, but also Florida is nuts. Because of the mix of people on top of each other, like right next to each other, it does make for some weirdness. I think the original Vice City captured that for sure. Not as much as this one. I think this one really looks like. I mean, when they're showing places of the Leonida Keys, I'm like, whoa, dude, is that the Florida Keys? That looks like the drive. No, it's gonna be a phenomenal game. I'm so pumped out of my mind for this. Yeah, because everything's so skinny down there. Yeah, I should probably show you what I'm talking about. As I'm looking at it, I was like, oh yeah, the trailer's playing. Whoops. So like down here, since this is our starting zone, and things kind of scale up as you play. Typically, that's how it works in Grand Theft Auto. Again, we're speculating here. We don't know. And again, the map is a giant speculation. Areas that are filled in and not red have been confirmed by screenshots. So those I would say there's a high percentage of certainty there. But as we start to get to the top of the map and these red areas, we don't know. There could be a lot of stuff in here. There will be a lot of stuff in here. Florida is not just a barren wasteland. And especially in the top, they don't know if this is going to be a panhandle or what. So, and that's why a lot of this has been etched out. They just have rough ideas of where things are by references, but yeah, when I scroll back like this, you're like, oh, is it just that? You're like, no, no, no. It's a lot more. This is just speculation on what they have confirmed and not confirmed. But since we know things kind of go up in tiers, it's interesting to kind of see, like, it looks like there's a lot of things on the water to do. And maybe you'll be flying right away. Who knows? Or at least dealing with, specialty deliveries. I mean, clearly, if you're talking about Florida, you're going to talk about some kind of running. I mean, to my knowledge, it still happens, right? There was always a joke like, because you're always trying to scrape by in Florida, but it's like things are cheap. That's the crazy thing. Is like you wouldn't think so. I mean, some things aren't cheap, but you go, oh, like how much do you think it costs to get an apartment there? And then you go, oh, it's got to be high. And then you look and go, wait a minute, I can afford that. And you're like, that's on the beach. What am I doing here? I could be on the beach. I literally can walk out and surf. What? I don't know what it's like now, but like, dude, it was like absurd. Like if you're in a city and you're paying that crazy rent, just go check the shoreline around the Atlantic coast and see what some of the rent is out there. And you'll go, what? I mean, I know it fluctuates, but like usually after a big hurricane, it usually goes way down. But yeah, you'll just go, dude, this is less than what I'm paying. What am I doing here? Yeah. Anyways, my thought was they were gonna do a lot of stuff up and down here, and it does look like that. A lot of these screenshots have verified that. Because you're gonna start doing like heists and stuff, or like you'd be knocking off liquor stores because you're clearly robbing the store at some point. It looks like you're kind of going down here. It looks like you have access to the airport, which again probably has something to do with running. And I think this is the police for like the air travel, right? Like the people that are looking for drug running boats and stuff. I forget what that blimp's called. So yeah, essentially we're looking at our starter zone. And when you look at the keys like this, you go, okay, that's going to be a lot of cool stuff. And then as you start to move up the social ranks, you start to move up around here. The Grass Rivers, which is the more the hillbilly area, right? According to the game lore. And then just above that is the high society, quote unquote. And then everything else that's over here, that's got to be crazy. And Florida does have like wildlife. And knowing how much they borrowed off that for this game, you're like, huh, okay. That's sweet. The fact that they got this one right here and they know what that is crazy. And they know that there's a building there from something else. But, dude, we're two people holding hands and there's a road. You're just like, what? How did they figure that out? Community is crazy. Here, we should put it over here for a second. Where is it on the map? Where are you? Ta-da! All these people put it together. Crazy. Speculation. Screenshot, trailer 2, trailer 1, artwork, leak, confirm location, speculative. See, I mean, dude, they got the hills. That's crazy. So anything right is highly speculative. The internet's great, isn't it? Social media is probably crazy, but this is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Back to the slideshow. So we'll probably hang around for another 30 minutes or so. Just to cover our bases, just to make sure, you know? I think, I mean, we'll be in here Thursday, but I think next Tuesday is going to be a hot one. Know what I mean, dog? Yeah, and according to the poll we currently have, most people, 47% say Tuesday, the 26th. 22% say Thursday, 31% say today. We'll be watching the channels closely. Rockstar, any other leaks, the Reddit, just to kind of see what the motion is in the background. Yeah, Tuesday was likely. Obviously, the Rockstar tweet kind of took that percentage way down, but it's still possible. But Tuesdays are the most likely times that these things do occur. Whether it's this Tuesday, next Tuesday, or sometime in June, or sometime in August, it's most likely going to be a Tuesday. Statistically, it's going to be a Tuesday. But again, they could do whatever they want. They could drop it whenever they want. But that's why we're here. It's Tuesday, the 19th. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Bobby. Is it Bobby? Does that look like Ice Cube to you? Dude, the strip joints and the big booty bitches makes me think of Georgia. Anybody? Atlanta, specifically Atlanta. I wonder how the loading's going to be, too, because remember how it was in 5? It seems how it does a cloud thing. We'll try to get some more cool angles and stuff on Thursday, so you guys can kind of see what's up. Thursday will probably be a small one. We'll just kind of cover the most likely window on a Thursday. The 21st. So we're like good to go. Just in case. Because wouldn't that suck if like it dropped and we didn't know? We go, what? Yeah, I think these are going to be a double deal. I think it's going to be trailer. I think it's going to be pre-release. Thank you, Best Buy, for messing up your email campaign. That really, really, really sent me. I was like, dude, we're close. The Everglades. Dude, I can tell you right now, you saw that screenshot where people are driving in the swamp like that? Terrible idea. Ask me how I know. Terrible idea. I think I know what's going to happen in that scene. Is this the same chick? She's got a tattoo on her boob, although she looks a lot older here. And what she's wearing definitely looks different, but I don't know. Like, that's his wife, but there's another chick that looks an awful lot like her. This is how do you know, LOL? Dude, we were dicking around in the, we're like, let's go mudding. And I was like, cool, let's take your car or truck or whatever. And we went, and it was a swamp. And we got the most stuck I've ever seen a car get stuck. So much, in fact, we had to exit the vehicle. It was then difficult. I mean, I don't even know. This was probably quicksand. We left the vehicle, and then it was extremely hard to get our bodies out of the mess. We had to leave the vehicle there, walk to a gas station, and then have somebody pick us up. Left it there overnight, then got two other people to help get it out the next day, and it took most of the day. And we didn't even go into the deep part. And I was like, noted. Florida mud is mutant mud. Don't do it. You think you know mud. You don't know mud. You don't know swamp mud. It's not what you think it is. I don't know how, like, construction equipment gets through there. Everybody has to get stuck. It's a crazy mutant mud. And I was like, so glad I didn't take my car. We're just, a bunch of friends together living in Florida, and we're like, let's go do something stupid. And everyone's like, yes, let's go do that. I think we had some girls with us too. It was an awkward time because when you're like, yeah, and then you're like, we're in danger, not a good time. And then you're like, now we have to walk, and we don't know how to get back. It's crazy. I mean, let's be honest. We always had girls with us. It was Florida. I hope we can surf in the game. I think that'd be sick. What do you think? Catalina. I'm pumped, dude. I'm pumped. Cutter. You're right, dude. You currently in the Florida area, you said? I don't want to give away your actual location, but you know what I'm saying. Dude, it's crazy. Like, I never thought, I've said this a million times on stream, but maybe this crowd doesn't know. I don't like water where I can't see what's under me. And it freaks me out. I don't know why. And then, like, if you're next to a buoy that had a chain touching the bottom of the ocean, just the thought of my foot touching that chain freaks me out, and I don't know why. So, like, I'm sure it's some kind of phobia or whatever, but like a real fear of something. Agoraphobia is like a fear of open spaces. There has to be one of like open ocean or like not seeing under you. Even I guess if you could see under you and see it like touching the ground, that freaks me out too. I don't know why. So like when my friends were like, "Yeah, well, go try surfing," I'm like, "No, that sounds like a bad time." Plus, there's like sharks that can eat you. Literally on the Atlantic coast is where people get munched sometimes. And I was like, "This sounds like a terrible idea," but they talked me into it. And it's a lot of work to get out there. But you catch your first wave and you go, I get it. I was like, all right. I don't like this ocean. I don't like to get eaten. So when I go surfing, I'll go with my friends that are bigger than me. And I'll make sure that they look more delicious than I do. And then, dude, yeah, to overcome your fears, to be like, yeah, this is such a good time. It tells you how good it is. And then you go, as soon as you come in around it, you're like, dude, I want to do that again. Then you go, you think about all those weird hippies surfing. You go, oh, shit, I get it. Oh, no. Oh no. Am I gonna turn into one? It's sick. He says you gotta go to the Gulf Coast beaches. Water is crystal clear on the beaches. Correct. Also, yes, they are on the Gulf Coast, but also in the Keys. It's like, it's weird how the water changes like that, right? Like it looks different and it's clear. Yeah, but if you're up in the Atlantic coast, like, where's Disney World? Where's that at? What's this city? And around there, and where's like Kennedy Space Center? Cape Canaveral. It's not. It's a different color there than it is in the Keys. which is shocking. You go, what? How is it different? I don't know. Just is. Orlando, thank you. Yeah, Orlando's water looks different. I mean, granted, the what's under there is different, but yeah, the water's super clear down in the Keys. It's not like crystal clear. It has like a, is it like a green blue? It looks different than like other tropical areas, but it definitely looks different than it does like up in like Orlando, Cape Canaveral area. The Cape. Also, I think they captured it here too. There's an old lady on the screen. Perfect. Yeah, there's also a lot of old people there. That stereotype is true, and they do seem to migrate at certain times, like birds. Yeah, like literally where we lived, it was like I think it was an old hotel at some point, but it turned into like apartments, and there was like just a mix of old people in there too. And it was like, what? You always get mad when there's like fun stuff going on. You're like, dude, you live in like a party section of what do you know what I mean? Bunch of 20 somethings hanging out here. Like, of course we're pulling sniz into the, you know what I mean? Of course we're gonna be making noise. What do you know? It's the weekend, dummy. Go play shuffleboard and shut up. Snowbirds. Yeah, most of them are cool, but there's a couple that are cranky about it. You're like, all right, man. Dude, it's like nice out. You literally can like open your screen door, your window, and you're like, I can hear the ocean. I can walk out the front of my place and go surfing. That's crazy. You're on the ocean. That's nuts. I think we had, I think the guy was the homeowners association head or something. Started getting in our face one time, and I was there. I was living there with like three of my friends, and this is like, we're full of piss and vinegar. It's like our 20s, right? So this guy's like, I don't like this thing and all this stuff you got going on. I was like, brother, nothing's going, like, you don't like it, but there's no rule against it. So I was like, yeah, okay. I was like being respectful because he's like an old guy. But then I was like, okay, and he was like, he just got in our face. I think he was part of the homeowners association in the block or whatever, and so he started like come up on our porch. I was like, good day, sir. And then he kept talking. I was like, yeah, no, we're done with this conversation. Like I was like polite, but I was like, good day, sir. And he kept walking up, and then I was like, good day, sir. Like get the fuck off our porch. And then he walked into our house, and I was like, good day, sir. The next move is you getting pounded. You're in our house. Like he was like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Just kind of walked out. I was like, what is that guy's deal? I mean, it was like, good day, sir. No, you're going to get walloped. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Florida's nuts. So this old man almost got his hip broken walking in our front door. It's like, you got two big monkeys. You got me. You got another dude who's taller than I am. And I was like, dude, you really trying to, you know? Old man, get out of here. Yeah, he didn't like us very much, and he gave us some static. And I was like, oh, is this kind of the homeowners association thing? I was like, I didn't really know what that was at the time. My dad's like, yeah, don't fuck around with that. It's like, what? I thought you tell me to go, tell him to go pound sand. It's like, no, 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 you really fuck with your living situation. I was like, oh, my bad. It's like, still, I shouldn't let this asshole in the house like that. That's crazy. He just walked in. He got two guys over 6 foot monkeys. That's me and my other dude. It's like, you really gonna come in here, dude? My other guy's freaking big, you know? It's like, this is the wrong place to walk in, brother. You were not invited. We're like entertaining ladies too, and they're like, what the fuck? I say, I don't know, man. That was weird. Then we had some, I can remember all the stuff from Florida. There's a spring break. We're like we're walking somewhere for some reason, and like these kids that are in for spring break are like, "Hey man, can you buy us beer?" And I just kind of laughed. I'm like, "No, you know what I mean? You're clearly underage, and even if you weren't, I'm not gonna buy you beer, dude. You know?" And they're like, "Fucking loser," and they just take up and just laugh, and we're like, "Wow, that's crazy." Says, damn, the HOA think they own all the properties around them. Yeah, there is a bit of a power trip going on with that group. That does seem to be a thing. That was my first run in with like an HOA. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, and they were older, so maybe it's just that's like their hobby is to just follow the rules and look out the windows and stuff. I don't know. It's a wild place, dog. Heard this game is gonna be locked at 30 FPS. He says even on PS5 Pro. I've heard rumors. I don't know though. It does look like a solid 30 though, or even a little bit above, from what we've seen in the trailers. I don't think it goes under 30 at all, from what we've seen. But that's all right. If it's like a solid 30 and it peaks above that a little bit, I'm like cool with that. I'd like a 60, yes, but like we're not, you know, I'm not terribly torn up about it. Now if it goes under 30, we got a problem. Yeah, sub 30 you can feel. Well, like 30 to 15 you can really feel, and then anything up below 15 feels pretty rough. If you're at a solid 30, that's like, I mean, I'd like 60, sure. But if you can flip between like 30 and 60, or more consistently 60, that's obviously better. It'll still be fine. Yeah, 100%. I mean, the stuff we saw in the trailer that we've been watching on loop forever is like, dude, that's all PS5. That's nuts. That looks like a solid 30 to me. The 60 has a bit, it's just more smoothness to it, you know? And we're currently capping, and my throughput is all 60, so. But again, we're not watching real-time footage. We're watching something rendered, and then we're rewatching that, so. But it does look like a 30. It even looks like it's like a 35, maybe 40. I don't think it's quite 60 though. It could just be the way they capped it too. Because if they capped it at like 35 or 30 or whatever, which is a weird frame rate, uh, that's all we'll see. Even if they're doing something higher. So my current cap is 60 because my internet sucks. And I was like, if we're pushing it to the YouTube and the bandwidth and stuff, I was like, 60 is fine. So I cap all my stuff at 60. Yeah, even on my PC. I'm just like, yeah, I mean, because I literally have to watch it through my capture card. So if my throughput's only 60, if I'm rendering any more than that, it's a waste. So I cap everything at 60. I'm not Shroud. I'm not hitting crazy shots. I'm good with 60. Know what I'm saying? Are you playing Rust tonight now? We should be. We should be. We did that last night, but I actually I took my case out to blow it out and stuff, and just kind of, I'm glad I did. It wasn't that long ago, and like the stuff on the front was crazy. It was like a lint trap in a dryer. I was like, holy cow, this could have been a problem. So it took a bit longer, and then I kind of vacuumed up everything around it. It just took forever. And then we ended up playing Star Citizen. I was kind of tired. We stayed up late. Shouldn't have done that. Now I'm dragging cheeks today. Our poll is at 28% yes today, 30% saying Thursday, and 42% saying next Tuesday, which is the 26th. I think something has to happen on the 26th. It's literally the old time they had. They could very well make an announcement, do a tweet, do a trailer, and then say the pre-orders start on XY. They could do the pre-orders right after, like literally trailer then pre-order. It'd be interesting to see how the website reacts to that. I think it's going to be like 404. Yeah, who's Cheeks McGee that like tackles? Is that Lucia? She's a baker. Got the cake. The reflections off that picture is nuts. I have a pretty good idea of how the opening is going to start. Just by kind of piecing stuff together on the map. Like, okay. Yeah, kind of moving up in society, going up to Vice City. I can't remember how Vice City started back in the day. I guess we could play that. BBL your character? Yeah, buddy. You know, dude, I'm going to cake it up as much as I possibly can. And I'm going to roll a female character, as I always do. Can you imagine, dude, you get to watch that cake bouncing all the time? Brother. Sounds good to me. I think it's really cool. We're like up on the water like that, and your safe house is like right there. It is weird, and the certain strips you'll see. I think around the A1A, it's you'll have houses on the water, like right up on the beach. You know these like residential skyrise things or whatever, residential stack apartments, whatever. And then it gets real thin, and there's literally like house, road, house, and then it's like ocean, house, road, house, ocean. I mean, is it ocean on the inside? I guess it kind of, yeah, it is. It's like an inlet or whatever. Whatever. It's like water, house, road, house, water. You can see it and go, man, if there's a swell of water, this whole area is screwed. Yeah, it's around the A1A. A couple of times for work, I had to do stuff down there. There was like a conference or something. Something. There's like big hotels and stuff, and then boom, house, road, house, water. It's weird. Dude, just watching this makes me want to go swimming in the ocean, dude. Even though I hate what's under my legs. Hate it. Although, to be fair, if you're going to surf, surfing with the sandy bottom's way better. Pro tip. Because you get thrown on the bottom of the ocean often, and if you get coral, it doesn't really hurt. I mean, it does, but you don't really notice how bad you get cut up until you come up. I can tell you how many times it knocked the wind out of me, just throwing me against the ocean floor, dude. Just the sandy bottom. You get a real appreciation for just how strong even a small wave is. And you don't really know how big it is and how much power it has until you're in it and you go, whoa, these little bitch waves are actually going to drown me. Then you watch the pros on TV and stuff, you're like, dude, there's no way. There's no way. That would crush you. You have to hold your breath a while. This is another rumor I heard. There's also destruction to buildings, and NPCs are going to repair over time. Oh, that's cool. It says, my guess is destruction might be scripted into a mission. Probably, or there'll be like areas for it. Yeah. I think fully destructible is going to be too much for this. I could be wrong. I don't know. But, I mean, you have rigid body deformations on all of the cars. You have these little micro simulations happening in like beverages and everywhere else on the characters, because clearly, what's the main character's name again? I just blanked out. Is it Jason and Lucia? Is it Jason? I can't think of his name. Literally, I was just looking at it.
I think it's Jason, right? Anyways, yeah, you have all these different things going on. So having like buildings deform. I'm not saying it's not impossible. Hold on a second. I gotta take this phone call. Swish, baby. I thought it was gonna be longer, so I guess we don't have to play the music. You know me. I can talk all day. I literally can. I do it all the time. Beep boop. Boop boop boop. Yeah, we got about. We'll do about 5 more minutes just to cover our bases. It's looking like a Thursday or a Tuesday. I think Thursday's less likely. We'll still cover it for a bit. I think the next Tuesday is probably our next best possible time. So, and if not, we'll fall back to what Jay was saying. I think June is. Either way, something's happening relatively soon because there's just too much motion happening in the background to be anything else, you know? Dude, that trailer 3 is going to make me buzz, right? And you know we're going to dissect it, and that map is going to get better and better. I'm really anxious to see if the website holds up. That's pretty telling too. Dude, when you go surfing too, you don't realize how much of a workout it is just to get out there. And you get out there and you go, damn, dude, I'm tired. Jeez, you know, there's a lot of work. Even if you're duck and diving, dude, it's still a lot of work. It's worth it. Isn't that crazy? Even with all the negatives around it, you're like, yeah, I'll still go. It's dope. I'll tell you what, though, if you can't see already and you see fins in the water, which could be a dolphin or a shark, I'll be honest, if you can't see, it all looks scary to me. I'm leaving either way. I'm like, see ya. I can't tell you how many times I swam in it. It was a dolphin. My friends are like, ha ha ha. I was like, oh, you could have told me. Ha ha. What a chump. I guess I'm just unlucky. They've been working on this game for 13 years. So they started like 13? Brother. 12 or 13, right? Dang. And the sheer scale of this is absolutely absurd, yes? The convenience store is again another like showcase piece. I know it's like a throwaway clip almost, but man, the stuff they got going on in there is absolutely nuts, isn't it? Whew, it's impressive. I know we've seen this a lot, but I continue to be impressed by it the more and more I keep looking into it and notice even more details and yeah, the stuff they're gonna pull off with this is gonna be absolutely. It is phenomenal. Yeah, this game's gonna break the internet, dude. 100%, no doubt. No doubt, boys. No doubt. Says any rumors unexpected price for GTA? We've heard anywhere between like 70 to 120 bucks, but that could be the range of like the different editions too. Hope they deliver on their hurricane system. Dude, that's gonna be dope. I always left for hurricanes. Well, a hurricane. Well, we're at 213. It is Tuesday. I think this would be around the area where we would have covered, so I think it's probably safe for us to fold it up for today. But just in review, we had the Best Buy email, which was like a test email, but it was real, but it just there's placeholder stuff. So it was a misfire, but they are developing the campaign, so the pre-orders are going to happen sometime. The most logical times are going to be a Tuesday. The reason why these are important is because of the Best Buy leak, but also their fiscal year ends on the 21st. That's another reason why we'll be doing a Hopium stream on Thursday, but also the anniversary of when this was supposed to come out 6 months ago, before they did the delay, was supposed to be May 26th, which also is at the beginning of their fiscal year. Also on a Tuesday, so likely times that this would occur. Most likely this is going to be trailer 3 and then a pre-order. Or they do trailer 3 and then they're like in a couple days and you can pre-order. I think the pre-orders will be right after the trailer. So because we kind of know a pre-order is coming, it's implied that the trailer is going to be coming as well. So we're kind of on top of it. And after seeing that email leak or whatever, I'm just like my spidey sense, the corporate spidey senses are like, dude, there's just so much motion happening here that and it looks like just a dumb email or whatever, but there's so much work that goes behind that stuff. I was like, huh. This has got to be close. So that's why we're here. And the next one will be Thursday. I think it's more likely we'll see it the 26th, but we'll still be here. And we'll be putting out some more details and cool stuff about GTA 6. And I'm going to have some stuff that's like rendered and stuff, and it's all purely speculative, but I think it'll be kind of cool to experiment and take a look at some more stuff.